started. And defending the north end zone, Mark Allegio, the kicker, in his first year with the Ticats, former Blue Bomber, to get it underway. The kick it from the 30, and C.J. Sims, one of the returners back for the Edmonton Elks. Week 11 underway, and this goes to Gavin Cobb at the 10. Product of the University of Manitoba on the return, gets it up across the 35. So on comes Trey Ford. First start of the season last week, 12 for 16, 189, a touchdown and a pick.
Yeah, basically stated that he felt like he wanted to push the ball down the field a little bit more, and kind of challenged for the club to do that. And his head coach, Chris Jones, heard him what he had said, and said he kind of wished his players would stay in their own lane and execute the plays that are called.
His feature receiver, Gino Lewis, prized free agent acquisition, who just came off the 6-game injured list, ready to go again. Watch for 87. And a play fake to start. And lots of time for Ford, who dances away from Trey Crawford. He can run. He's shown that in the past, and he runs here for a first down. Ford dangerous with the legs and gets it up closer to the 50 of Edmonton.
Yeah, get used to that, Ron. Just look at, he talked about Gino Lewis being back in the lineup. I think that's outstanding. You know, you've got Boyko, who's new to this football club, back in uniform, playing right tackle. He's still getting used to the system. Eugene's back in it, 11 catches, 200 yards and a touchdown. Big playmaker. If Trey wants to throw the ball deep, 87s, you're going to be your guy all day long. As good as they come in the Canadian Football League. Happy to have him back.
He's got Kevin Brown in the backfield, too, does Trey Ford, who ran for a first down. Remember, first play from scrimmage against Winnipeg last week, and it was Brown taking off for a touchdown.
Too many men.
Edmonton at 13 players on the field. This is a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And the kind of thing that drives coaches nuts, especially at the start of a game.
Yeah, you know, we've seen it happen, and we've seen it with this football club. Players not knowing where they're supposed to be, bring the ball out of the end zone, a little disarray. Somewhere the ball's being dropped, and that's not a good sign the first play of the football.
So that pushes them back 5 yards after they got that first down to the 44, and a first and 15 now for the Edmonton Elks. 0-9 coming into this game to start the second half of the season. The Ticats at 3-6 from the Edmonton 44. And little quarterback draw. Ford calls his number again, and he gets it up closer to midfield. It'll be still a second and long, but up across the Hamilton 50.
Yeah, I've highlighted Malik Carney here for a reason, because I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. I think he's special, and I think he's just got to figure that out, really. And Simone Lawrence has been one of the most special in the last 11 seasons. Outstanding, 689 yards, 11 away from 700, obviously. And Tunde Adeleke in the back end, he's going to be probably saddled up with spying that kid behind the center for the Elks right now, and I would think that they're going to need a lot of help to rally Trey Ford.
Up across the Edmonton 50, I should say, in second down. Ford again. 3 running plays, and he picks up another first down. By the looks of things, it'll be close. Richard Leonard coming in to stop him, but it looked like having to get to the 51 of Hamilton. Yes, indeed they do. So in Ticats territory, all in the legs of Ford so far.
Yeah, Rod, I was going to say first and 15 for this kid in his legs is no big deal. They're going to continue to play zone. He's going to take that. There's no pressure. And he's a little upset there with contact. You can't be shy from that. Especially if you're going to pull it down. That's third time already. I love it, Rod. He's got to play these strengths. We know that is a big one for him.
3 carries, 28 yards so far. Opening possession in this game, Kevin Brown. Very different than his first carry against Winnipeg last week. He's going nowhere. Picks up maybe a yard. Casey Sales, Malik Carney in there to stuff Brown.
There he is. I really like 5. Carney is just a player, and he's all over the football field. But yeah, that 65-yarder was explosive last week, to say the least. And to come out of the gate and be able to do that, give the Edmonton Elks, that sent a message and really kind of caught Winnipeg napping, and they woke up, as you well know, outscored them badly the next 2.5 quarters. But it was pretty special start for the Elks at home.
No end. Edmonton.
Andre's going to get it figured out. Hopefully the Elks do too.
Another one of those shoot yourself in the foot type of penalties over the Elks, who
Coach Jones trying to figure it out.
There is no infraction on the play. Edmonton, number 59, checked in.
some confusion over the extra O-lineman, Philip Prohovic. So apologies to the Elks there. Not a shoot yourself in the foot penalty. They take that one back.
Then they took it right off the football field. And I'm not quite sure why he checked in the first place. Then he got a break from Andre. Took a chance to substitute again.
Brown gained only a foot, so it's a second down. Call it 9.5 for Ford and the Elks now. Three-man rush. Completes this one to Gino Lewis, his first catch since coming back off the 6-game disabled list. He was injured back in week 3 against Toronto, but it is not enough for a first down. They're still 3 yards shy.
Gino, get the action early. Sit up there, sit underneath everything, try to split this tackle. That's exactly what you try to do. I would have picked Elliott too, as opposed to Simone Lawrence. It's a good choice. Gino Lewis, 21 for the little guy.
Now Ford stays in. You see at the Hamilton 43, the wind always a factor is going against Edmonton right now. It would be a tough 50-yard try for Dean Faithful, so they're going for it instead from the Ticat 43. Ford on third down. He looks deep, and it is almost caught by Eugene Lewis.
Wow, that's a play that you would think that 87 would come up with. That ball was thrown beautifully from Trey Ford. 2nd and 3, they're going for it all.
Javian Elliott there. Lewis had a shot. Couldn't come down with it, so the Elks turn it over on downs. Ticat football coming up.
Weeks on the injured list and a bye week, and here he is right here. And this is Eugene Lewis. It's 3rd and 3. And they're going for everything here. You got Manny sitting down right in front of him, but he throws a beautiful ball over the top, and that's one that 87 usually comes up with, trying to pick up his young quarterback. Just couldn't come down with that one. I like it. A veteran trying to make a big play for his young quarterback, just couldn't get it done in that situation.
Ticats have the ball after the Elks turn it over on downs, starting with Taylor Powell at their 43. Faking the handoff, dumping it off to the right to Tim White. And he has it up to about the 47. Taylor Powell, his 3rd start, his numbers so far, and an 0-2 record, but lost to the Alouettes 2 weeks ago here at Tim Hortons Field.
You know, I mentioned off the top of the show that he's learning a lot, and he said, he quoted to us when we were talking to him early in the week, that he's learned a lot over the last 3 days. When that's coming out of your quarterback's mouth, it gets your attention. It's like he's going to be learning a lot over the next 10 years if he can stay in the league that long. 3 days. And he's talking about, of course, Scott Milinovich, new offensive coordinator. We'll be talking about him as the game goes on.
2nd and 6 now. Powell over the middle. It is caught. 45 and more. Duke Williams, who got his career started in Edmonton, a great year in 2018 with the green and gold. And
Duke's right here. He's going to run it big, and this ball is going to be feathered in between a real tight window. Just get beyond him, flatten it out there. Don't get up into the free safety territory. Duke makes a nice handsy catch. Gives us patented first down. You know he likes getting involved early against his old team. Duke Williams, nice catch.
One more catch than he had back in Edmonton 5 weeks ago when he was only targeted once.
Crazy.
When Powell came into that game for Matthew Schultz late. So here is James Butler, who had his best game of the season against Edmonton in that one 5 weeks ago at Commonwealth when he had 127 on the ground.
Yeah, he was Mr. Everything for him that game. And this guy the last couple of years since coming over from Edmonton, Evan Beard's been outstanding. What a great trade that was. Just look at Scott Milinovich in the booth. And James Butler, you just talked about him, Rod. Lit it up first time. Why not? Go for a whole bunch of 167 yards. And Duke Williams showing you what he's got already.
He had 127 on the ground and 40 more, as you talked about, 167 combined in that game at Edmonton. So a 2nd and 6, Powell, and they have him. He is taken down by the veteran Niles Morgan, the middle linebacker, coming in to force a 3rd down.
3rd-year player from Notre Dame, Niles Morgan, just getting settled in middle linebacker position. He's a good-looking ball player, standing right there in a 2-point stance. Just Oh, nice little reverse move. Comes back, spins back, and finds Taylor Powell. And another look at it, Rod. Taylor, you know, his mind and his feet weren't connected there. And oftentimes, when you're not seeing it clearly, Rod, that's what's going to happen. This is the end result.
Mark Leggio from 49 with the wind at his back. The big difference in scenarios here so far in this first quarter. Plenty of leg, but no, doink off the upright, so that's a dead ball. And no points on the board for Leggio, who came in at 18 for 19, but 0 for 1 in this game after that missed field goal. Eugene Lewis, top player in the East last year, moves to the West and finally back on the field. The Elks in a 0-0 tie in Hamilton. With the Edmonton Elks back in week 1, 102-yard touchdown, catch and run. This is receiving yards since 2019, of course, most with the Montreal Alouettes, Matty.
Yeah, and he had an opportunity early in this football game to add to that total. And I know he's chomping at the bit to get back out there and make it happen. Shaking some rust off, that's all. Veteran receiver Eugene Lewis, both on and off the football field, have to be out there.
Edmonton ball again in a scoreless tie. This time to Kevin Brown, who finds a hole, and he gets up across the 35 before he is taken down. A pickup of 5 yards for the Elks. A lot of running from Trey Ford in that first possession as they got down to the Hamilton 43 and turned it over on down.
Yeah, he's just going to slide over here and follow his big boys and try to find a hole right there and watch him get off blocks at second level. Delicate got in there, got off his block. It's what you got to do. Come from second level, get off your block, and rally the football, especially against number 4. This is explosive as they come in the Canadian Football League.
So the left tackle, Martez Ivey, pushing Malik Carney inside to open up that hole. Second and 4 at the Edmonton 36. That's Shannon Brooks, another running back for the Elks, who gets it up to the 40, and looks like a first down for Edmonton.
Yeah, and I really like the thought process, just pounding, establish that line of scrimmage. That used to be Edmonton's calling card when they were winning on a regular basis. That hadn't been around in a long time. Those big boys, they like to eat, they like to enforce their will, impose their will on defenses. I think this is one and an opportunity tonight where they should really try to do that and help out the young quarterback. And the same can be said for the Hamilton Tiger offense. Taylor Powell,
faking it to Brooks, rolling out to his right is Ford, and he gets rid of it, and that's Dylan Mitchell. Did he keep his feet down? Yes, Dylan Mitchell with the catch, and another first down with the Elks on the move.
Yeah, and you watch Jameer Thurman mirroring Trey Ford. This is a nice catch by Dylan on the sidelines. Boom, got the foot down. Right foot was down, left foot was out of bounds. He kind of slings this. Kind of his style right there. You see his left foot, but his right foot is already down.
And of course, in the CFL, you just need one.
That's it.
So it goes to the 50 of the Ticats. So the Elks offense, they have something going again here. Early in this one, past the halfway point of the first quarter. Fake to Brooks, and dumping it off for Kyron Moore inside the 50. Not much taken down there. Richard Leonard.
Yeah, Richard Leonard had a nice bead on that play. He was mirroring the back, and you're going to see him. Let me see, where's Richard coming from? He's going to slip to the back here. There's all the way across the field. Mirrored his receiver and his man made the open field tackle. Very nice play.
Had 2 interceptions against Montreal and Cody Fajardo a couple of weeks ago. And the Ticats lost to the Alouettes. We get a 2nd and 9 now. Hamilton 49 for 4. He completes that one down at about the 42. They had to get to the 40. That's Manny Arsenault, and an amazing streak continues for that great veteran. That is the 138th straight game. Of course, he's appeared, and he's missed a lot of games with injury, but 138.
Goes back to October 2010.
It does, with BC.
Yeah, and that's hard work, dedication. Gets him close to a first down. 3rd and 1 here. 3rd and 3 last time they went for it. Took a shot down the field. Wonder if they can just go ahead and try to sneak it here and move the sticks. Looks like it.
Arsenault just his 3rd game played this season. Taylor Cornelius lost his starting job. He's in now for short yardage and pushing it on 3rd and 1. Had to get to the 40, and it looks like he has. keep an impressive drive for the Elks going, as signaled by the referee, Andre Prude.
Like what Jarius Jackson is doing with Trey Ford right now, a lot of high percentage throws underneath, little play action, getting him out of the pocket. He's moved the launching point. He tried to attack downfield. That one, as I noted, should have been caught by Eugene Lewis, but really like what Jarius Jackson. He's been offensive coordinator in this league before. He just took over there a couple weeks ago. He knows the system. He's been there as a quarterback coach, so it's not a big a turnover as what we saw here in Hamilton. We've been talking about those two OCs all night long.
Jarius Jackson taking over for Stephen McAdoo, who stays on as an advisor with the Elks. 1st and 10 at the Ticat 40. Trey Ford. He swings it out now to Kyron Moore. Gets 5, gets 7 or 8 there as he is knocked down by Casey Sales.
And Rod, that's a high percentage throw out to your left. You got blockers out in front. You're getting it to the right person's hands because he can make you miss in a phone booth. Yeah, he's going to be he's going to be right here. You're going to watch him there. Sorry for that drawing there, but you see him just kind of bubble out. Got 3 blockers in front. Bam, foot in the ground. Took some nice chunky yards there, 7 on that catch. Easy pitch and catch for the young quarterback, getting out of his hands, making Hamilton run. Casey Sales is tired of this already.
To the 32 of the Ticats. Their first possession got down to the Hamilton 43. Further now, and a 2nd and 2 on the ground to Brown. And tough sledding there. He had to get a little bit past the 30. He might be short here. We could have another 3rd down coming up here for this Edmonton Elks offense.
Yeah, and penetration, guys doing their job down in the trenches, and you just watch them knife in here, and they're going to make Brown relocate. Penetration in the backfield, filling right there. Elliott does a nice job of coming up there in secondary support, forcing 3rd and short.
Last time on a 3rd and 3, they tried a deep ball. This time it is just about a foot as Cornelius is back for short yardage for Edmonton to keep this drive going. On 3rd, and yes, the big body of Cornelius stretching across. It looks like another 1st down for Edmonton.
Yeah, not a lot going on in there except for a lot of grunting and shoving and pushing and nastiness. And that's the 3rd time already. They're 2 and 3 in the 3rd down conversions. And way to get her done. 3rd and 3 in the first series of the football game for their Elks. They went over the top. That was really aggressive. I liked it on the road. Jones was trying to make it happen. Pretty happy right now. It's a nice drive by this young offense. Young quarterback trying to put it together on the road, find a 2nd win.
Another homecoming of sorts for Trey Ford. Grew up in Niagara Falls, just down the QEW. He's got family and friends here tonight, just like last year for his CFL debut. Blitz coming, he got it away. Touchdown Edmonton. Ford just before he's hit, and look who gets it. Former Tiger Cat Stephen Dunbar in his first trip back to Hamilton after spending the previous 2 years with the black and gold. Edmonton on the board first.
And nobody in the middle. You got to take it. This is the area you want to attack because nobody's there. You're going to have one-on-one opportunity. Trey Ford reads it. Blitz doesn't get there in time. He's willing to take that shot. He lifts it over the top of Katsatanis. Dunbar says, yeah, I used to do that in Ticat uniform. Now I'm doing it over here. That's what they were looking for in the first drive. They finished the deal on that one. That was a beautiful drive by a young quarterback who's seeing the field nicely, and Jarius Jackson giving an opportunity to make some high percentage throws and seeing it, being able to dictate to the defense and take advantage of cover 0.
The point after for Dean Faithful, and talked about what this means for Trey Ford coming home, what it means for Stephen Dunbar too, that called Tim Hortons Field his home for a couple of years. 7 was on the blitz. Ford got it away to his number 7 for 7 points. Edmonton early on here in Hamilton.
Here and this man right here, and he's going to take him right over the top in the middle where nobody's at. Pressure doesn't get to Trey Ford in time. Ford just takes the shot, knows he's going to lift it. Little double move, suck him in. Ball's on time. That's a beautiful drive by Trey Ford. 5 different receivers already. 10 plays, 80 yards. Trey Ford looking like a seasoned vet out there in that drive.
Tyreek McAllister won't get it. It goes a little shorter. It's Sean Thomas Burlington.
Good to see him out there,
Yeah,
Rod.
good to see him back. He'd been injured and out. He takes that shorter kick against the wind by Faithful. And so good field position for Taylor Powell and the Tiger Cats to start. That ball is put down at the Hamilton 53, down 7. It's almost 2 years ago to the day that Stephen Dunbar, early in the CFL, his first year with Hamilton, got his first touchdown catch in Montreal from Dane Evans. And he's got one in this game returning to Hamilton from Trey Ford, and that's the difference right now. Oh, running now is Butler. Big run down to the 15. That's what the Ticats needed, a late flag coming out. James Butler, who really went off in Edmonton 5 weeks ago, does it there as well to put Hamilton close.
Finds a nice lane in the middle of that defense. Morgan kind of gets washed, and he comes right through this lane here, and it is
major foul.
Foot race.
Unnecessary roughness.
Morgan goes to the left. Tackle. He goes right.
Edmonton number 11. At the distance.
Face mask right there. Horse collar.
Down.
Add a little more to it. I was just going to say, Edmonton's controlling the football here in the first quarter. 11 minutes already of time of possession for the Elks, and it looked like we hadn't seen Taylor Powell and James Butler, and there's Butler right there saying hello to everybody.
At 127 on the ground in that previous game against Edmonton, 43 and 1 carry there. The veteran Ed Gainey taking the penalty, just his second game back from injury. First and goal, Taylor Powell on the Ticats, and going left, Butler. And he's wrapped up that time. Tony Jones, linebacker, coming in to get him and then get some help to take him down for no damage. Second down, maybe a loss of a yard. Goal to go coming up.
Yeah, Tony Jones, Texas Tech. Yeah, he's right. He's right. Excuse me. He's right up the line of scrimmage right there. Jones, 39. Second-year player from Texas Tech, getting the job done. Good recognition, Tony.
So a big second down
Backs
coming up
against
here.
the wall, Rod. You
they are. Goal
bow
to
your
go.
neck.
Test for the Elks defense too. Felix Garangoche, the fullback, is in, and he gets loose. And Powell on the run, and he looks down to Garangoche at about the 2. So we have a third down coming up as they do get closer. Right at the end, the final play of the first quarter. Powell to Garangoche, but still shy of the end zone. So talked about a big second down, an even bigger third down ahead for these teams. Impressive start for the Edmonton offense in a 7-0 lead. Watching the CFL on TSN. Running as well, the 7-0 lead on the touchdown by Dunbar, but the Ticats are knocking on the door.
Yeah, and don't forget about that missed field goal by Leggio, right? Those are points taken off the board there. You think that's going to be automatic because he's having such a great year. But really impressed with Trey Ford here in the first quarter. Time of possession just in favor of the Elks, and I like the way that Jarius Jackson is utilizing the young quarterback, using the strengths, wearing out the defense, going side to side. Quarterback called run, high percentage throws, taking shots, reading cover 0. Now you got Hamilton and their young quarterback, Taylor Powell, knocking on the door. Third and goal here, got to have it.
At the 2, third down, Hamilton. Trying to tie this game up. Taylor Powell standing under center. Handing off! Touchdown! James Butler does it. Had the biggest play to get them close. And he finishes it off. Fifth rushing touchdown for James Butler this season.
Oh, I love this little misdirection here. You're going to see Williams come around here, and then a little flash fake right in the backfield, reach back, give it to James Butler, give him some vision, get depth there, give the ball as deep as you possibly can. Revenberg just blowing up that left side, opening up a hole for James Butler, potentially tying up this football game. Who wants it more down there? And that time, Hamilton got the better. Edmonton's deep. James Butler getting in the end zone once again. 4
plays, 57 yards, in barely a minute. The biggest play, a 43-yard run to start that drive by Butler as Leggio comes on. And that kick goes wide right. Whoa. So Leggio's had a missed field goal, and he missed that point after. 6 for 10 in the year in the point after tries for Mark Leggio. So they don't get the tie, still down a point. But Scott Milanovich, the new offensive coordinator for the Ticats, looking on and had to like what he saw overall with that drive.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike, you know. Everybody down there executing the plays he's calling, and that was well done up front. Pretty easy walk in. James Butler finished what he started. And that was a nice response drive by the young quarterback, Taylor Powell. And there's a guy shaking hands with right now, Bo Levi Mitchell, up here in the booth with us, snuck in. Give us some love. Yeah, he liked what he saw. He and Scott are over there in the booth real close to us, and they done a nice job of directing that drive, response drive to Edmonton's domination of the clock so far here early in this football game.
Good to see Bo Levi Mitchell. I'm sure he's had some influence.
He looks a little thinner. I mean, I think he must be on the bike a lot with his ankle situation. He's wearing some kicks, some Crocs. I think he got some Crocs going there. Yeah.
So Leggio will kick off from the Hamilton 30. They are now going against the wind. And it is still an Edmonton lead with the missed extra point.
He did that on purpose, Rodney.
Yep. Going against the wind may as well. It does come down into Edmonton hands, though, and up at the 50.
I mean, I think you'd give up 20 yards of field position there if that wasn't a pooch kick to try to get somebody on sides to cover it. I don't know. I'll take that all day. I'll take that all day if I'm Trey Ford.
It was Shannon Brooks that came down with it. Now, as I say, bear in mind, they're already going against a pretty stiff breeze.
Are you going to say that had something to do with Leggio missing the convert?
No, not from that distance.
Right.
No.
But certainly you would think it has something to do with the thought process to kick it short like that and give Edmonton the ball at the 50-yard line.
They have the breeze at their backs now, and they have the 1-point lead starting at their 50 for Trey Ford. Sets up a draw to Kevin Brown.
I'll take 9 all day.
He takes 9 there. He's coming off his best game against Winnipeg. A lot of it coming early in that game, but Brown still went off for close to 100 yards in that one.
They're just taking full advantage here and just pushing him out of the way and rooting him out. You take him, I'll bump Sales over to you. You take over, I'll go to second level. We'll let Brown do the rest. That's just a nice job.
That first carry last week against Winnipeg went 65 for a touchdown. He ended up with 98 on the day.
That was Corte and Cordella getting it done.
So we got another second and short yardage situation for Taylor Cornelius passing of it. Open receiver. Oh, what a play here. A.C. Leonard, a defensive lineman who started his CFL career as a receiver with the BC Lions. It was Chris Jones who converted him to defensive line in Saskatchewan back in 2016. So the receiver instincts are well as Cornelius tricks that Hamilton defense.
Yeah, so he's going to fake like he's going to run a quarterback sneak, dip in there, and then drop back off his back foot, and a one-hander by AC. And he's like, yeah, I do this all day. I'm just an athlete. Excuse me, get out of my way. Athlete coming through. I don't know about his acting skills. And when you're 6'5", Taylor Cornelius really can't hide in there, but he made a nice throw and a beautiful one-handed grab by AC.
So here we go. Kevin Brown again. And down inside the 5 in that 1st and goal. Hey, that previous play was a 2nd and 1, so they did have a down to play with, and why not?
Watch this.
They tricked him.
Watch out. I'm just going to bat it in, soft hands. Look at the mitt. He's like, that looks like a Nerf football right there.
Not many defensive linemen have had a pro career as a receiver as well, and they really made good use of the skill set.
Willie Jefferson in Winnipeg, he'll say he can play receiver.
There's another example of a guy that could certainly do, but he
He's not having any fun, is he?
Well,
that's amazing.
In a season that has not been much fun at all, take it when you can, and it's a 2nd and goal as they look to open up their lead now.
So they start on the 59-yard run, little gadget play. AC takes him down, knocking on the door.
And on 2nd and goal, Cornelius still in at quarterback for Edmonton. Drives about a yard closer, but still, we have a 3rd down and goal coming up.
It's just me, does it look hot and muggy down there?
It's not just you. It's getting hot and muggy up here.
Yeah. Yeah, Jameer Thurman going, yeah, Patty, it's hot and muggy. Our backs are up against the wall. We need a goal line stance right now.
The kind Saskatchewan had against Edmonton in week 1. Remember that? And right at the end of the game, and the Elks had 3 cracks at it and couldn't get it in for the touchdown. This is down to the 1. It's a 3rd and goal. They have the 7-6 lead. Taylor Cornelius reaches across, breaks the plane, touchdown Elks.
He had to use all 6'5" of his frame there and point the ball over the goal line to get there because his legs were on the 3 and the ball was in the end zone. That's what you can do when you're that tall. He did what he had to do. A nice look at it here, right down the line. Want some, get some. Extend that ball. There it is. It's an easy call.
Easily breaks the plane there, and Cornelius.
Well executed.
Trey Ford had a great start to this game, but they mix it up. They put Cornelius in with the drive-defining play was that 2nd and 1 trickery to A.C. Leonard that got them down close.
All right, Dylan Wynn got bent backwards on that one too, and just coming back in the lineup after 11 months off.
Dean Faithful, the point after. And so it is now an 8-point lead for the Edmonton Elks, who answer right back in this one. 5 plays, 60 yards in 3.5 minutes. For Taylor Cornelius, they start with Ford. Cornelius stays in and scores the touchdown in Hamilton.
He does have, Rod, 22 people here, so many from his high school, so many from his hometown, but mom and little daughter, he misses them very much tonight, guys.
All right, Matthew, and on the kickoff now, Sean Thomas Erlington, a nice catch to get it down at the 5, but the wind pushing it back there as he gets it up across the 20. But yeah, had a very good family, athletic family, the Ford family Matthew talked about as well, and said wanting his young daughter to make sure that she gets involved in sports.
Yeah, I don't know if there's so much taking care of the daughter as 3 dogs that he has back home, right?
Yeah.
You know, somebody drew the short straw there, but Trey loves his dogs, and certainly his young family motivates him these days, understandably so.
So he engineered the first touchdown. Cornelius engineered the second. They have the lead. And now Taylor Powell is 3 for 3 for 31 yards, but great running by James Butler, their previous possession, for the Hamilton touchdown, as he is throwing there and out to the left for Tim White, who picks up about 6 yards for the Ticats.
Yeah, you know, I look at Tim White and his opportunities he's been getting. He's been getting quite a few of them. Coming to this game, he's targeted 50 times, only has 25 catches. So hitting it about 50% when they go his way. That's a nice catch by 12 there, picking up his quarterback. Ball could have been out a little bit earlier, stuck on a little quicker, so he might have been able to do something with it.
In his 3rd season with the Ticats, and a 2nd and 4 coming up after that 6-yard gain for Taylor Powell. 4-man rush with time. Oh, would have been a first down. And that's in and out of the hands of Anthony Johnson, who was inserted into the lineup tonight, but dropped it there, and we get a 3rd down, and the Ticats are going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, and he's just going to quick slant here. He's going to hit him right in the breadbasket, and it's going to go on the ground. He talked about trying to pick up the quarterback and respond, and he might have taken a peek with Adam Konar right in his vicinity. He's kind of taking a peek to see where he's going to go get some yak, and forgot the pill.
In there for Terry Godwin, the top receiver for Hamilton this season so far, who's out with an injury. So instead of the first down, a new punter too, Corey Vetvik, former Saskatchewan Rough Rider, acquired in a trade this week after Bailey Flint from Melbourne, Australia, had to go home to deal with some family business. He's on the suspended list. Vetvik, his first punt as a Ticat, and this season too.
Not bad, into the wind. That's nice.
Into the wind it goes, and C.J. Sims has it, and Nick Cross among those chasing him out of bounds. The drop by Johnson, and the ball's now in the hands of the Edmonton Elks, who have an 8-point lead. 2nd quarter at Tim Hortons Field. Start against the Ticats and showing off the legs, and now they got some breaks, as Matt talked about, in terms of turnovers, but he certainly did enough to help that team pick up a victory, and what it must have meant to him, not just as a Canadian, but from Canadian University football, a real rarity to start a CFL game and to win it too. The most recent one before that, Greg Vavra from the University of Calgary with the Stampeders, and that was back in 1985.
And Greg was briefly in camp with myself in Edmonton, and I looked at Greg Vavra and I'm going, he's my competition right there. That guy is a football player. He can sling it all over the yard. And heck, Crichton Trophy winners, those two guys.
And Ford is back in, and another big completion to Stephen Dunbar. The ex-Cat has a touchdown in this game, and he has that one all the way down near the Hamilton 15.
Yeah, that feels good on both ends. He's right here, and he's just going to the post, and this ball is going to be on the money. Woo! It's a double little move. So get some of that. And he's out. Gets tracked down. Well, that's a nice move. Takes time. So you hear quarterbacks say it starts with the offensive line up front. Yeah, there you go. Takes time to do that route. Stephen Dunbar says, thank you very much. Trey Ford puts it on the money.
All the way down to the 19 of the Ticats. For Stephen Dunbar, gain of 47. On the ground, Kevin Brown driving and gets it inside the 10. A good carry on first down. He is close to another first down. He has it. So it'll be a 1st and goal coming up here for the Elks, looking very impressive on offense tonight.
Watch him stick his left foot in the ground here, right? Bam, there. And then he's going a different way. Just shreds George, potential tackler, says, get off of me. Edmonton's looking explosive here. Starts with Trey Ford's legs, and now they're getting big chunks. Trick plays, boy, it's all working for him right now.
It really is. The balance of the run and pass. 1st and goal at the 9 now. For Trey Ford, the touchdown pass in this game, and he breaks free, and he gets rid of it for touchdown number 2, Stephen Dunbar.
They're so worried about his legs, and I think they're spread out all over the field, and he's so quick, and he bounces, and he breaks the pocket, and he finds a wide open Stephen Dunbar just sitting there. He's right here. He's going to go up here, and he's going to sit down in here, and Trey's going to break and contain, throw across his body for an easy 6. Here comes the player. Support on the run from Trey Ford and his legs. Tunde's going, I just can't cover everybody back here. Do you see the size of this end zone? It's 20 yards deep and 65 yards wide.
Let's go there!
This is almost an impossibility, Rod, for the DB to be in right position with Trey Ford is on the edge.
Faithful another point after. So 3 touchdowns now for the Elks. I don't know who feels better about all this. Trey Ford or that man, Stephen Dunbar. At his first 2 years of the CFL with the Ticats, with the Elks having his best game in an Edmonton uniform so far. Ticats down. Matty with another touchdown pass from Ford to Dunbar.
Yeah, and he's right here, and he's going to run a little back. Oh, hang on, here we go. He's going to run a little bang route underneath here. Give it to him, get underneath. Simone comes up. Really can't do anything there. As Trey's got him in a world of hurt, he's got space in front of him with his legs and his ability to move. He finds a wide open Stephen Dunbar in front of Tunde.
And now Sean Thomas Erlington on the return. Tanner Green back in the lineup after the 6, and a really good special teamer making the tackle there. So the Ticats, Taylor Powell, they're in a 15-point hole right now.
And he hadn't been on the field very often, nice response drive a couple series ago, and then didn't get some help from his teammates to extend a drive. And don't panic here. Go out there and execute. Don't try to do too much. Scott Mlinovich, Bo Levi Mitchell standing up there. Scott Mlinovich on the left-hand side.
See Bo Levi Mitchell in there as well, but yeah, you're right though. They just haven't seen the field very much. Second possession went for a touchdown drive. For that man, James Butler is the ball carrier up across the 30, but the net yards heading into that play, Edmonton 241, Hamilton 82.
And yeah, that's indicative. And now you're going to see a fresh defense for the Elks out there because they had been on the field too much. And that'll start taking its toll if they don't sustain a drive right here and put some pressure on this Elk defense.
The gain by Butler just shy of 5 yards. So 2nd down and 6 now at the Hamilton 32, 21-6 Edmonton. Three-man rush. He's still running out of time. Jake Seresna nearly got him. but he does get rid of it, and he completes it too, up at the 40 to Tim White. That's a first down for the Ticats. The ball now in the hands of Noah Curtis. Claiming it should be Edmonton ball, but they have spotted it at the furthest advancement for Tim White.
Yeah, to me, that's cover 4. Yeah, and you're gonna watch this. You're gonna watch four guys go deep, and you're gonna have 5 underneath because they're gonna only rush 3. So that's cover 4 with 5 underneath. You're trying to take away everything over the top. A lot of things underneath, intermediate. You come up, and exactly what we've seen with Trey Ford. When you press the edge, defenders come up, and all of a sudden receivers pop open, and that was Tim White for a first down.
Carlos-Sean Franklin on that tackle. Ball came out late. Play action fake. And running at a time again, and this time Serezna will not be denied as they pick up the sack of Powell. Jake Serezna.
Yeah, Jake's picking up his 5th right there, Rodney, and you know he's hungry. Yeah, he's standing up right here, folks. Big guy right there, can't miss him. Hungry for number 5, and he gets it. Little point fake to the back. Taylor didn't like things to his left, and he looks to his right, and bam, there's Serezna. Hello.
You said sack number 5 this season, 30 on his career for the veteran Edmonton Elk, Jake Serezna. 2nd and 16 from the Ticat 36. Once again, just rushing 3, and Powell gets it off to Butler. With lots of yardage after the catch, but still not enough yardage for a first down. He had to get to the 52. He's shy of the 50. So the punting unit will likely be coming on here as they are close to midfield, still in their zone.
Yeah, this is what happens when you Jake Serezna and you're getting a sack on my quarterback. Watch number 1, Duke Williams, come in and watch what he does. A little chip on the big man. Bam! Get some of that. Get my quarterback one more time. I'll be here all day. Duke Williams helping out his offensive line.
And where they spot the ball, Matty, it is a 3rd and 1 actually, so no punting unit. They bring in extra offensive lineman Dylan Black and fullback Felix Garan-Gauthier. So a 3rd and 1 now. Hamilton side of the field and trailing by 15. And out of shotgun. Powell hands off to Butler. And Butler is met just, it looks like, past what they need to get the first down.
And we're standing 7 stories up right on that spot, and it looks, well, that was close.
Actually, it is quite close, but no, they do signal the first down. He got it up across the 52.5, so the sticks will move with the 3-minute warning given. James Butler had a big 43-yarder earlier to set up Hamilton's touchdown. They need more of that, though. They have the ball getting late in the first half.
And so there's a new OC for Hamilton, but what's going on with the defense, coach?
I don't know. We have defensive head coaches on both sides, and they both fired their offensive coaches.
Perfect.
Kate in the panel. Halftime coming up here at Tim Hortons Field. And Edmonton leads it 21-6. Hamilton football, post to midfield, blitz coming.
That's up.
Ed Gainey coming in, he gets him, and the ball comes out. And the Elks, by the looks of things, have it. The veteran Gainey, just recently off the injured list, coming in and gets to Taylor Powell just in time to force that fumble, and Edmonton has the football.
Taylor never saw him. He's coming off the edge here, and he's going to track him down. Taylor's aware of the pressure on the right side, but he's not aware Gainey's coming with a full head of steam, and he strip sacks him, and Edmonton comes up with the football. I was just about to say this is an important drive for Taylor Powell going into the half here. If they can put points on the board, then he gives up the ball, and a nice play by the veteran Ed Gainey.
And that was Montreal native Jeremy Dominique, recent 2022 draft pick by the Elks, went to Charleston, and a big fumble recovery too. Edmonton will try to add to their total before halftime, but not that way, not on that play, with Kyle Wilson coming in on Kevin Brown, and a loss of a couple of yards for the Elks.
Yeah, Kyle Wilson, he's right here, and he just looks like a football player in that stance, ready to go to war. He just undercuts, pulling Boyko coming from his right tackle spot, and no challenge for Wilson. So I'll just undercut you. Tackle for minus 3-yard loss.
2nd and 13 now at the Edmonton 50. Late first half. Setting up a screen there to Brown, midfield, and he has met Jamian Elliott coming in among those Ticats to take him down, and a 3rd down and long is coming up here for Edmonton. And they will be punting for the first time in this game, Matty, and with the win.
Yeah, and Chris Edwards getting in the ear of Trey Ford, trying to get in his business, and Trey's laughing it off. Look at the scoreboard, my man. We're up 15. I like that play call, but it was well defended by the Ticats defense there. 2nd and 13, little screen. Looked like it had more in it, but like I said, they pursued the football and forced this punt.
So on comes Jake Julian.
Who?
Jake Julian from Barrie, Ontario.
Right. We hadn't seen him.
Drafted in it originally by Ottawa, but first punt for him. Down inside the 15 for the Cats. And that's Tyreek McAllister, and good coverage on that punt by the Elks to take him down at the 20.
Yeah, and that's Julian. That is him spotting that football over there in between the numbers and the sidelines and really giving his unit an opportunity to rally to the football. That's a heck of a punt right there. First one of the night.
Kate Chesney, Lapo, and Jim Barker, who must be having flashbacks to 2012. Chris Jones, Scott Milanovich, Orlando Steinauer.
Right.
A lot of the class of that Argo team that won the Grey Cup in 2012, and he was the general manager. Barker was.
This is why you play the game right here, Taylor Powell. 1:39 on the clock. Put some points on the board, taking the length of the field, see what you got.
The Hamilton 20. And Powell does get rid of it. The face some pressure, and up across the 30 goes Tim White for a first down for the Ticats. 1.5 minutes to go, still plenty of time, down 15.
Pressure coming off the edge. You're going to see it come off the edge up top here. Taylor's going to climb the pocket. There's the edge. Climb it. Eyes downfield. Just flick it to him. I like his poise in those situations. Show me a lot.
That one's Duke Williams. There's his second catch of the game. Had one
Konar.
very early on, and yeah, Adam Konar taking him down.
Zone coverage, Rod. Dropping your zone, see it play out in front of you, come up and make a tackle. Konar's been doing that a while now. Chip off the old man block right there.
Father Kevin, remember him with the BC Lions.
Teammate. Beast. Taught me a lot about the game.
2nd and 5, Powell. That is complete to Butler.
There you go.
And he gets some yardage after the catch, and another first down, 104.
He knew where the sticks were, just took a little time to get there and figure it out and put people where he wanted them, and juked and jiving and slipping tackles and got enough. Love it. Plenty of time, 104 on the clock. Calling timeout. Oh, there's a man down on the field, Rod.
Yep. Injured Edmonton Elk getting some attention there. Just over a minute to go until halftime. It looks like the middle linebacker, Niles Morgan, the team's leading tackler. One of the top tacklers in the CFL. Chris Jones, Scott Milanovich. Well, they go back to the 2007 Montreal Alouettes. They were coaches there, roommates, good friends. And later, Milanovich got him onto the Argo staff in 2012. And these are people involved in this game tonight who have connections to the 2012 Toronto Argonaut team.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're old school and new school. What they're doing now, the hats they're wearing. Boy, there's a lot of love there. Talking to them on the Zoom calls, you really get a sense of that. A lot of respect. Whole lot of John back and forth. And the man with the chalk in his hand on the grease board, the man with the pen in his hand usually wins. Scott Milanovich and Chris Jones wore each other out for years, being roommates doing that.
Back in their Montreal days, Jones said he'd make the dinner and Milanovich would get the drinks, and they'd talk football all night. Well, here's Butler up near another first down, and still 52 seconds to go.
I like it. That ball was on time that time. Gave his back an opportunity to turn it up, get what he could, and get out of bounds. Nicely thrown ball. It doesn't look like much, but it makes a difference when you throw in rhythm and get it out there in a hurry so he can turn it up.
Just inches away from another first down. 52 seconds on the clock as Powell. He gives it to Butler. First down and more. James Butler still breaking tackles, and he gets it down to the Edmonton 40.
I mean, he's doing that like it's not like he's in his backyard with his younger brother. These are professional football players that are trying to tackle him. He's shedding them like they're not even there. Nothing was there. Put his foot in the left ground. AC Leonard didn't have it. Oh, goodness. Just leaving a wake of Elks.
And fans aren't liking the fact that Cole Nelson is down now with Edmonton.
Well, like I said, Rod, I was playing around, but it's hot and muggy.
It is. It looks like
guys
he's
are wearing out.
Cramping up, and Orlando Steinauer.
45 seconds on the clock. Getting a lot of help from James Butler, making some good decisions, getting rid of the football, seeing it downfield, making plays, and Rod did it on the 30 and the 41-yard line. Points are knocking, and you got to take advantage of this.
We just saw that graphic with Butler, so he had those numbers up. He's at 101, over 100 already in this game in combined yards. He had 167 in his best game of the year 5 weeks ago in Edmonton.
127 of them on the ground, as you mentioned early in the ball game, 40 of them elsewhere, and they all count. And when you're looking for some footing and to get back in the ball game, number 9 is not a bad option to lean on. James Butler, he was fun to watch last year in BC.
Well, in that game 5 weeks ago, in week 6, the Ticats added to the Elks' misery, winning 37-29. Although they lost another quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell, injured a couple of times this season. Matthew Schultz was knocked out in that game, and Taylor Powell went in, threw a touchdown on his first ever CFL pass.
There it is, stick it on.
Powell here, and he completes this one to Tim White.
Nice open field
32 seconds now, just outside the 35.
Doesn't look like much. Clock will stop until the referee blows it back in if he spots the ball. Andre Prue's all over it. Offense is on the line. Look at Taylor Powell work. Ball off. Here we go. Come on.
37.
Come on.
Clock is ticking. Four-man rush. Powell escapes. Ceresna after him. He completes it, though. He finds an opening, and that gets down inside the 20. 18 seconds now. That's Tyreek McAllister.
I think you got 3 plays here, Rod. You don't have to push it right now. You can still be conservative. Check it down underneath if you have to. And Taylor Powell's been doing a nice job of that. Patient and very accurate with those throws.
8 straight completions now for Taylor Powell. And that's 9 straight. And that's Tim White again. And he's down approaching the 10. Second down coming up. More importantly, though, 9 seconds on the clock. Looking to find the end zone and get this a little bit closer before halftime.
And they're making a big change here. It looks like wow, they're kicking a field goal. They're like just taking points here.
9 seconds left and on second down.
I don't get that. You take a shot in the end zone there, one-on-one. Tim White one-on-one with Duke Williams or something. Check it down. I think he had plenty of time, but we'll never know.
It sounds like fans aren't getting it either, and the decision by Orlando Steinauer now to bring in Leggio as Vedvik puts it down, and Leggio does put it through. And the final play of the first half does lead to more points for the Ticats, who are trailing, but now 21-9, an 11-point difference, and an impressive first half, especially by the Edmonton Elks offense.
No question, Rod. He played with poise. He saw the field. I thought that Jarius Jackson, his new offensive coordinator, put him in great positions. They took shots. They had a trick play with Taylor Cornelius to AC Leonard, and I really believe that Trey Ford was on his game and showed the country why he was the Heck Crichton Trophy winner in 2022 in the first round, 8th player picked in that draft. And fantastic first 30 minutes of play.
Engineered a couple of touchdown drives, and here is Trey Ford now with Matthew.
Trey, how satisfying is it? Because execution takes preparation to see you guys control the time of possession, and some of those trick plays get you guys down.
As some fans have stuck it around and waited over an hour and a half, a long weather delay, but yes, some still there. And waiting to see if their Hamilton Tiger Cats can come back in this one. The Edmonton Elks looking for their first win of the season. And like last week, Matty, a 12-point lead at the half. This one a little different for a few reasons. One thing, the long weather delay. Also, Trey Ford, this is his 5th CFL start, his 2nd straight this season. And he has looked very strong leading that offense in the first half.
Yeah, I really like what Edmonton's doing offensively. Jarius Jackson putting him in some really good spots. The ball's out early. If not, he's pulling it down and wreaking havoc with his legs, which we know he can do. He can do that as well as anybody. I think the only guy close to him is Vernon Adams and possibly Dustin Crum in the Canadian Football League right now. We haven't seen an athlete like this, I think, go back to Damon Allen and what he was able to do over his 23-year career. Trey Ford has been on fire, throwing the football, very accurate, making good decisions, taking care of the ball in some bad conditions. And we're going to see if that's going to play a factor in the second half here, the ball being a little slippery.
Well, Taylor Powell has had a solid first half, only 1 incompletion. I mean, James Butler, they needed to get him going, and they did certainly on that touchdown drive.
Yes, they certainly did, and I think that's your Scott Milinovich, new offensive coordinator, guy has had tremendous success in the CFL. You know exactly how to get that done. Pound it. Give your young quarterback an opportunity, or even your veteran quarterback back in the days when he had Ricky and Anthony and just wreaking havoc on defenses. He's doing the same tonight with that guy right there, James Butler, getting the most out of him, both on the ground and through the air. Need to do some more of that in the next 30 minutes.
We'll look at Gavin Cobb and also C.J. Sims. Edmonton received the opening kickoff to start the game. Hamilton had won the toss and deferred. The bigger priority for the Tiger Cats is the wind in the 4th quarter, which they'll have. They'll be against the wind now for Mark Leggio. A long time later, this game has resumed. Second half begins. It is Sims with the ball across the 40 as he slides down with Kyle Wilson coming over the top. So up to around the 45. Back comes Trey Ford, 8 for 9, 127. 2 touchdown tosses to Stephen Dunbar.
Yeah, and see if he can pick up where he left off. I think he will. I think he's feeling it. I think they got a good game plan. I think he understands the numbers game that he's looking at right now and what Jarius is trying to get accomplished. And it's nice to be on the same page with your OC and in a rhythm, see if he can jump back into it. You saw the short kickoff and the wind play havoc on that. That ball didn't travel very far at all, and Edmonton's got decent field position with basically no return.
Things have cleared up, but that wind remains strong, blowing north, right to left. Trey Ford takes the handoff and lots of room to go, and the bootleg. He gets across midfield, and he takes it for an easy first down. And just like the first possession they had, he had 3 straight runs for 28 yards. A big one there, Matty.
Yeah, he's coming out the edge. You know, he's going to come out the backside here, and it's going to be Tunde Adeleke, who's probably one of the fastest DBs in the league, and he looks like he's running in mud, trying to track down number 2. Getting a little love from his teammates as he made that look very easy moving the sticks.
His first carry since that opening sequence when he had 3 straight, a gain of 18. And the Hamilton 48 comes Edmonton. Handing off that time. Shannon Brooks. And just picks up a couple of yards. It'll be a 2nd and long ahead for the Elks.
And just looking at that run, you know, that was one of the only times I've seen Trey Ford run a play into numbers, meaning the defense had more numbers on the side they were running the football to. And I think, you know, that's a teachable moment for himself and Jarius Jackson when they watch the video tomorrow of this football game. This one is like, why don't you check to the right here? And you can see the outcome, no gain.
Yep, they bought that right where it was before. 2nd and 10 coming up now. 4-4 with time, and he completes it to Manny Arsenault. His 2nd catch of the night. We mentioned way back in the first half that he extended an impressive career record, 138 straight appearances with at least a catch.
I had to double check that when I saw that stat in this 2010, and I'm going like, what? That's a long time ago. And that's a lot of catches, and that's a lot of work and effort. We know that that guy puts it in like no other, and that's why he's out there continuing to do it. Manny Arsenault.
Objectionable conduct. Hamilton, number 49.
They would have had him off the field there, Rod.
It would have been a 3rd down.
Penalty that will give a 1st down.
That's the first penalty of the night for the Tiger Cats, and it's a big one. It's Trey Crawford who's called for the objectionable conduct after that catch by Arsenault. So it is moved down now to the 33 of the Ticats, a 1st and 10 for the Elks.
They had him off the field, had him in 2nd and 10. They threw a cross underneath. They made the tackles, didn't get to the sticks, and then you take that play. Whew, that's a tough one. See, that's exactly what Edmonton did last week when they fell apart in the second half. 2 penalties in the first half, no turnovers. 8 penalties in the second half, 2 turnovers. And Hamilton's gifted them an opportunity.
By the command center, there's also a foul for objectionable conduct on Edmonton number 62. This is also a misconduct foul for 10 yards. So it will be 3rd down.
The left tackle, Martez Ivy. So
that's
incidental objectionable conduct. So as it turns out, they are pushed back, 3rd down.
Tip for tat right there, you know, and you just can't have that.
So it goes back to being a 3rd and 5,
which is great for Hamilton. Looks like they're staying out there with
Trey Ford is still out there now.
With wheels like that, this will be fun to watch. There's a few dynamic here. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, you're still considering it. Looks like they're going to try to run an offensive play and move the sticks.
Well, remember, going the other way in the first quarter, they got it down to the 43 against the wind and went for it and nearly had a big, on a 3rd and 3, and nearly had a big one to Eugene Lewis. So this time, with the wind, not going for a field goal, going for it on 3rd and 5 for it. He has time. He looks deep right. Oh, and it is broken up. The intended receiver was Dylan Mitchell. He was open briefly, and then the coverage converged. Jamie and Elliott there, and so just like the first quarter, opening possession, the Elks turn it over on downs.
He's right. He's going to run a go, and the ball's got to be out. Look who takes it. Least path to resistance inside. Get it out there. Get it out there. That ball hit him right between the 1 and the 7, I think. Oh, it did. Right through the bread basket.
Kenneth George reached up but didn't touch it. You're right. He had a shot at this one. So a similarity with Eugene Lewis looked like he could have caught it near the goal line in the first quarter.
Wow.
So Ford has put it in there, and now a challenge is coming out from Chris Jones.
Who could be challenging? He looks like he motioned to his head. That was a pretty heated discussion there.
Edmonton is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
And
well, command center will try to sort this one out, but this is what Chris Jones was seeing, was that PI.
A scrimmage here, and as he takes an inside release, least path of resistance is what Dylan Mitchell is doing here. Press coverage, one-on-one opportunity, pitch and catch, 3rd and 4, least path right there. Here is where he feels like the PI was going to happen. I think that's where the challenge comes, because nothing happens there. In fact, that's a catchable ball by Dylan Mitchell.
So Kenneth George on the press coverage there. Was that pass interference?
After review by the command center, the ruling on the field stands. Edmonton is charged a timeout, and they're out of challenges.
Wow, what a turn of events there. You know, first we thought Hamilton took a misconduct after the play penalty, and then, it was decided that Edmonton took one as well. So it went back to 3rd and 4, and then the challenge there, and Hamilton's got the ball in pretty decent field position.
You saw Jamie and Elliott there, who's the one that came across, made contact too. So it's another turnover and downs by the Elks. So once again, Hamilton, second time in this game, take over on downs at their 43. Here's James Butler, over 100 yards combined in that first half. 69 on the ground, but just a couple there. Second down coming up for the Ticats.
You got to figure Edmonton had a little time to button up their run defense in the first 30 minutes because James Butler was making it look easy.
Had some good games against these Elks. Mentioned in the first meeting, 127 on the ground, 167 overall.
That's all right. Take some of that.
Second straight game, combined yardage over 100. 2nd and 7. The Ticats at the 46. They're down by 12. 3-man rush. It's complete to Tim White. Out of bounds, just over Adam Kona.
Yeah, and I saw him dropping off, and well, that was a tight window closing in a hurry as Adam Konar knew what he had felt behind him. And he's backing up in the area outside coverage, and this ball's lifted right over the top of his fingers. Tim White to tell him how good that route was. I think it was a better throw.
Taylor Powell 14 of 15, and that one incompletion was one that should have been caught. So here we go at the Edmonton 49, out for Tyreek McAllister. They get him in space, and he is taken down there by A.C. Leonard, who has a catch himself in this game.
That's a yeoman's work right there. A.C. Leonard tracking down McAllister in space on a hit screen. You got to go. You got to go a good 20 yards to get here, and you better be sure when you do. Comes inside out, takes him down. One ankle, that's all you need.
That is 11 straight completions. Short passes predominantly for Taylor Powell, but still going to work here in a 2nd and 6 at the Edmonton 45.
Man coverage, you should be able to run the football here.
He tries to get away, but he can't elude. That's Ross on the play. Daniel Ross with the tackle.
Yeah, Rod,
third down.
Watch what I'm seeing here. You've got two men. You've got two guys. You got two guys deep here, and everybody else is in man coverage underneath, right across the board. And when that happens, quarterback lanes really open up right in front of you. And you saw Taylor Powell trying to get there, and he just got tripped up as he's getting the open field because he had some room in front of him if he gets there. I understand that. I had a couple 69-yard touchdown runs, and I had to creep my way about 40 yards downfield till finally somebody realized, hey, Dunnigan's running the football. And then I managed to get to the next 29 yards myself, but that coverage will get you beat right there, 24/7.
Curry Vedvik to punt it away from midfield against the wind. It comes down around the 10, takes a hop towards the Elks end zone. Picked up there by Dylan Mitchell, who was hauled down on special teams. Sean Thomas Erlington.
Good to see him out there contributing.
His third game this season, Sean Thomas Erlington. And Edmonton is before the weather delay. The Ticats honored one of the great receivers of all time, Hall of Famer Darren Flutie, with 5 years in Hamilton. His name put up in the Wall of Honor there with Paulus Balliston. Great teammate of Danny McManus's too, in several places, BC and Edmonton as well. But in Hamilton, they won a Grey Cup together. Ozzy and Darren Flutie, 4 times, Matty, out of his 5 years, 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, you see the love there by his teammates, and those are forged through fire and good times and bad. And boy, Darren Flutie was involved in so many good times for this football team. And what a magic pairing it was with Danny McManus and watching them do their thing.
Here's Trey Ford trying to do his thing, but Casey Sales has other plans as he takes Ford down. And that is the first sack registered by the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the night.
Yeah, surprising that they kept him in the pocket there. Might have given him an opportunity. Casey's right here, and he's going to come right back to him. He just stymies his man, gets rid of him, sheds him, finds his way to number 2. Big time play there.
And the 3rd sack of the season for Casey Sales in Edmonton. Just barely out of the end zone. A loss of 4. They're down to their 2. 2nd down 4. Under pressure again, and this time he will take off. Backtracks and just tries to throw it out of bounds.
That was pretty heads-up play. Not that he lost much, but he was going backwards for sure. He stumbled coming out of there. Looks like Hamilton had at least 3 or 4 defenders spying him underneath, anticipating him using his legs, not forcing it, turning the football over deep in their own end. So either take a safety here or punt the football. The wind at your back, you gotta think they're gonna give it a boot.
This is the second punt coming up for Jake Julian, assuming he does punt it away.
Mark Washington maybe got his defense settled down now.
Well, that was arguably their best series, I would think, of this game. That Edmonton's offense really had it going in the first half. And
timely as well, Rod, backed up.
Definitely is. Now, Julian does have the win. From Barrie, Ontario, Jake Julian. And they bring some heat, but he does get it away to midfield. Tyreek McAllister takes it to the 50. Here we go, McAllister! Inside the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Tiger Cats. And there are flags down.
Yeah, it was a nice kick. 55 yards, 53 yards in the air. Might have out-punted his coverage, and then McAllister did the rest.
A couple of flags down, Matty, and is it coming back?
Eerily reminded me of Lawrence Woods taking one back in the game we referred to with Trey Ford last year, getting his first win on Canada Day. Woods took it all the way back and really gave Hamilton a big boost at that point. Edmonton still found a way. Now they're getting help from Hamilton's special teams unit with a little
There
holding.
are 2 fouls on Hamilton. Holding Hamilton number 43. Illegal block. Hamilton number 8. That penalty is declined. First down.
So they flag Carthel Flowers Lloyd, who's a special teams star for the Ticats, their leader in special teams tackles, but a penalty there on 43 right there.
Yeah, it's right there. You can see it all day long right in the middle of your screen.
James Butler driving up towards midfield, just a yard or so shy, but picks up 3 or 4.
Yeah,
Ticats.
that is it's tough to swallow if you're a Hamilton fan. Right there, there's the hole. Yeah, he got him pretty good. At the point of attack, it's an easy call for the officials, the right one.
So it gets up to the 54 now. And a 2nd and 6. Taylor Powell. He's to pass. He steps up. And he has a receiver too. It is caught for a first down.
There you go.
Anthony Johnson making up for a drop in the first half as they will move the sticks.
Yeah, that's a real pretty catch right there. The sidelines knowing exactly where he's at, working back to the quarterback as Taylor climbs the pocket and scrambles to his right, spots his receiver. That's a pretty grab right there.
Gets it to the Edmonton 46. The Ticats.
Work back hard. Work back hard. You're working for his quarterback now.
Trailing by 12. Edmonton had a 12-point lead at the half against Winnipeg last week. Powell, lots of space ahead, and he takes a slide inside the 40. As it'll be a 2nd and short coming up for the Ticats.
Yeah, Scott Hutter was coming in, all bent for leather, and abort, abort. Milt would say it's a business decision. Me personally, I would have taken him on. Watch Hunter.
Yes, you would have.
He recognizes this. He's coming. I like it though. Taylor's figuring this out. He's got enough there. He's got enough juice in the tank to make defenses pay attention.
He picked up 6, a 2nd and 4 at the Edmonton 40. Hands off to Butler. Right side has a hole. Hits that hole and then drives for more. Keeps those legs chugging to get down near the 25 and another Hamilton first down.
And again, it's watch the right side, just move up there and steamroll defenders. He doesn't get touched about 6 yards down the field, and the rest is Butler. Making people miss, getting you a little yak.
To the 26.
Feels like this is a scrimmage now because of the fans not in the stands. Maybe 1,000, 1,500 people left after that storm.
Some diehards still here after that long weather delay. And on the 1st and 10, Konar coming in, or excuse me, that's Tony Jones coming in, the Edmonton linebacker, and not much there, about a yard that time for Butler.
I think this would be a win for Edmonton. They get a stop right here and force a field goal attempt. You know, that's what they're thinking.
Just inside the 25 now. If the Ticats can get in the end zone in this possession, of course it gets interesting, especially for an Edmonton team that has not been able to win yet this year. That'll help them out as they push them back. Jake Seresna with his 2nd sack of this game, and that is number 6 in the season for him. And remember, they are going against a wind here, and that pushes them a little bit further back to the 35.
Oh, just a bull rush. It's just dominated left tackle. Woo-wee. Kemp said, ouch. That's going to look bad on film tomorrow.
So that puts them back just outside the 35 for Mark Leggio, who was 1 for 2 in the field goal department. Also had a missed extra point in the first half.
Now wind is a factor here.
And it is. They're against the wind, and Vedvik will be putting this one down at about the 43.
He and Vedvik hadn't had much time to work together either.
This came over last week in a trade with Saskatchewan. For that, oh, it really took a break left. It started straight down the middle. And here's a return by C.J. Sims. Takes it out, gets it across the 20 up to about the 23, as it looked like Leggio had it, and then some real English heading off to the left as he misses that left upright, and Sims takes it out. So no harm, no foul against the Elks, who hang on to their 12-point lead late 3rd quarter. Some fans chose to stay. Wanted to see the Ticats get back in it, but that gust of wind, by the looks of things, blowing mostly down the length of the field, but Leggio's field goal try just took a sudden turn to the left when it looked like it was going straight down. So Kevin Brown, the Elks, with the football, as Brown has that carry up closer to the 30.
Yeah, so you look at that sack, puts him back there. They don't take that sack, ball just thrown in the ground somewhere. You know, it's a much easier chip shot or field goal attempt. A lot of points being taken off the board with the kicking game right now if you're the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, and you did your point you were saying before during the break, that it can look like it's going one way, and we even saw those flags on the top of the upright on the Leggio kick take little gusts to the left, but it's...
We saw a guy with Darren Flutie's celebration of putting his name on the wall of honor here, Paula Spaldison, who knows all too well about the Hamilton wins that Ivor win. Mark Leggio here, Tim Hortons Fields getting a pretty good dose of that tonight in education about the wins off the escarpment here in Hamilton and how nasty it can be.
Really can be. That carry by Brown is not enough for a first down. Ted Laurent in there, and Dean Payton, or excuse me, that's Jake Julian coming on now.
Laurent, though, what a staple. There's Ozzie. Yeah, he's up on the wall, too. Guy was incredible.
One of the great kickers in the game's history.
It was like, you know, it was like he had, it was like a golf swing with Ozzie. You know, he could just position it, kick 20 feet right up the right goalpost and have it curl in. He knew what was going on.
Jake Julian with the punt.
That's a big one.
With the breeze. And the flag does come out. McAllister getting up just across the 30. A weather delay of more than an hour and a half. They got playing again, and it is still.
Or is he trying to understand them as a person? He said it's a little bit of both. What he's looking to do is to kind of understand what will stimulate how they see the game, what motivates them. And the one thing he said about Powell after having Collaros and working with Bo Levi Mitchell now, and obviously also Trevor Harris, is that Powell likes intensity. He wants to learn. He wants parameters in his game, and he wants to be able to go play to play and know what he's doing wrong to improve. Milanovic, after 3 days of coaching, likes that of his young quarterback.
And Powell liked that kind of instruction he's been getting, and he goes to work. Here he completes it to Tim White up at the 30. A nice catch. He went up for it, and he is taken down at the 40. So this impressive performance by Powell continues too, as he still has only one incompletion.
Yeah, he's coming across the formation here. He's going to end up over there, and he's going to pluck this out of midair. You see Powell just at the last second. Oh, that's a nice catch, nice play on both ends.
By the way,
look at that.
Yeah, I was going to say, and they started a lot deeper after the punt because of a penalty while the ball was in the air. Really swung the field with Edmonton kicking with the breeze at their back, but that play helps them get out of the hole. Big one, White. Big one here for Butler as he keeps running well and running hard and up to the 50 and close to another first down for Hamilton.
Yeah, it's working. Keep pounding, killing on the left side. Little help there with 39. Felix Garan-Gauthier. I like it. Extra blocker. Not that James Butler needs it tonight. He's making people miss it every time he touches the football.
Kyle Loxley used to play for Edmonton, got cut earlier this season and signed on by the Ticats, and he did a lot of this for the Elks last couple of years in short yardage. So Loxley, the backup quarterback in this one tonight, gets the first down against his old team. He was a member of Hamilton for the game 5 weeks ago in Edmonton, but wasn't able to be a factor in that one as his new team beat his old one.
Specimen of an athlete, though.
He really is.
It makes your mouth water, and your coach is like, well, I can do something with that guy. He's got to figure it out. Receiver, quarterback, whatever it may be.
I remember the Elks last year, the year before, trying to do just that, take advantage of his athleticism at quarterback, too, as Butler gets it up over midfield. Another good carry and first down for James Butler. All right, it's still a 12-point difference, but they'll go the other way. They will have the wind at their backs on a stormy night here at Tim Hortons Field. The fourth quarter is coming up. Can the Elks heading into the fourth quarter, but they hang on to that 12-point lead. No points at all in that third quarter after a long weather delay as you look at the three-quarter stats, Matty.
Yeah, and when I look at them, it's kind of deceiving. Hamilton came back and they added to their totals. And you can see that is verified in the column there in the stats. But what I was looking at was the football and the field position that they didn't take advantage of and come away in that 15 minutes with 0 points. They're on the Edmonton side of the football field the entire time, and they came away with 0 points. And before the end of this quarter, Hamilton was backed up on their own end. It was like mind-boggling. It was still a 12-point lead, and now Hamilton's advanced into Edmonton territory again. And got something going.
And with the wind now, I mean, they won the toss. They wanted the wind in the fourth quarter. They have it as it begins. Down 12, throwing to the left, completing it to Tim White. Down at the 36 of the Elks.
I think that's the most impressive throw I've seen by Taylor in his short, young career. And this is impressive. Somebody in his face, he spots it out there perfectly to Tim White, moving the sticks.
First and 10, the 36. Tries to dump it off to Butler, but it is low.
You watch his feet, right, Ron?
It's the field, yeah, and falls incomplete, second down.
Yeah, watch his feet. His feet are going one way, and he has to drop his arm. Just watch your quarterback here. His feet are going to go one way, he drops his elbow, and he tries to sling it out there, and it's just not going to work out for him. Yeah, it's just, but he's mechanically sound back there. It's one of the first times I've ever seen him get out of his cylinder like that.
Ends a streak of 14 straight completions. Just the second incompletion for Taylor Powell. Second down. Can the Cats come back? Can the Elks hang on? Fourth quarter questions. Powell escapes to the right with Seresna giving chase and Curtis. He takes off. He gets a first down for the Ticats on the ground.
I mean, come on, that's beautiful. That's exactly what you need here. This kid's figuring it out before our eyes. We called a game here several weeks back in his first start, and he's doing it all. I mean, he's pump faking 6 yards downfield over the line of scrimmage and making defenders kind of hesitate, find himself a few more yards and move the sticks. Taylor Powell, nice play.
Down to the 25 of Edmonton. Once again, as they did in the third quarter, Hamilton is getting closer. They had nothing to show for it then. With the breeze behind them. And a look into the end zone. No. Intended for White. Ed Gainey was there. So too was Marcus Lewis, as that ball did sail a bit with the wind.
Yeah, it sailed, and it fooled Ed Gainey as well as Ted White. And I think it just floated. And you can look at him right here. And he's going straight down the football field. And this ball, when the wind's at your back, it's just going to push down the football field. And you can see it it's just sailing right there and moving hard right to left at the last 4 or 5 yards. Gainey thinks he put the lockdown on him.
So second down at the Elks 25. Early fourth quarter. Powell looks end zone again. This time the other way for Duke Williams, and Kai Gray was with him. And that ball's incomplete, and we've got a third down coming up as the Ticats need some points to get a little closer. And
yeah, Kai Gray, one of those big, tall corners, 6'1", going against Duke, who's 6'3". So really a nice matchup here, and he was like blanketed him. I don't think he's holding him here. I think he's just kind of hands are on him, and hands are kind of just holding him there. That's a nice play by Kai Gray.
They get the field goal. It remains a 2-score game, trying to knock it from 12 points down to 9. This one just past 32 yards for Mark Leggio. And he missed it again. He is having a rough night. He misses that one left as some boos rain down and some frustration for his head coach Orlando Steinauer, as the Ticats once again have nothing to show for some progress down the field, and it is starting to get very costly for Hamilton. Leggio only 1 for 4 in the field goal department. It remains now an 11-point.
A little hit screen.
Coors Light moment of chill. And on the run now is Trey Ford, getting another reprieve with Hamilton driving down, but only getting a rouge on that play. An 11-point game, and Ford using his legs well in this night.
Yeah, he is. And Simone Lawrence having a heck of a time trying to track him down. He comes off the edge and he's going, oh man, now I got to backtrack. And then he comes back and tries to get a strip and fumble there. But decent job of the veteran Simone Lawrence tracking that young man down an open field.
The Elks up 11. Oh, he nearly broke it through even more. Kevin Brown probably thinking with all that daylight if he could have kept his feet, but they did get him tripped up. But another first down for Edmonton very quickly on the move.
Yeah, you see Malik Carney just squeezing down. He tries to get his feet right here in the hole, and he just barely trips him up and kind of stymies his progress right there. I didn't think that Kevin Brown, I think he surprised himself on through that hole, and he just kind of fell.
To the Hamilton 46 now. The Elks trying to close in on their first victory of the season, leading by 11. Just over 11 minutes in the fourth quarter, and that is Dunbar. What a game he had first half. A couple of touchdown catches for the former Ticat, Stephen Dunbar, courtesy Trey Ford.
Yeah, just pitch and catch out here.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
Yeah, he's right here. He's going to sit down right there, and a point fake by Ford getting on the edge. Sticking on him, get you 7. Favorable position on 2nd and 3.
The Hamilton 38 and a 2nd and 2. Faking to Brown, wide open is Manny Arsenault. And Arsenault takes it down inside the 20. Another first down for the Edmonton Elks.
Yeah, all eyes to running backs and to Trey Ford coming off the edge. Forget about guys just slipping in behind you. And you're going to watch the point fake and what it does to the defense. And all these guys are going to kind of hesitate. Right there, hesitate, freeze, and then, man, he's in behind him. Getting a big chunk of change right there. Edmonton, nice drive, response drive to Hamilton's single.
That just kills the Ticats now. All those points off the board. Still an 11-point lead. And this is twofold. The chance to add those points, also the chance to kill more clock.
Look at that.
And they go on the sweep there to Kyron Moore, who gets it down near the 10. The second and short coming up now. And Manny Arsenault came into this game needing 18 to reach 9,000. What a great career he's had, and it's had some breaks in it as well. Some time away, but the most career receiving yards for active players ahead of Greg Ellingson. The Manny Show, Emmanuel Arsenault.
Hey, congratulations, Emmanuel. Yeah, you know, Ellie's about the only one that could, you know, go get that 9,000, but he hadn't been healthy all season.
Here we go. Be a backbreaker for the Ticats. Edmonton trying to find the end zone again. Coverage is there on Eugene Lewis. Kenneth George nodding his head no. Coverage was very tight. And we have a 3rd down and 2 coming up here for Edmonton.
Yeah, that was old school right there. You know, just let him play right there. I like that. Typically, you're going to see him right up here. These two going at it. Little outside release. Back shoulder. He back shoulders that, I think it's touchdown. Jostling pretty good on the back end of that. No harm, no foul.
We'd like to welcome in viewers on TSN3 watching tennis. Rod Smith, Matt Dunnigan, Matthew Shinetti here. Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton. The Edmonton Elks haven't won this season. They're 0-9. This is their best shot. A chance to make it a 14-point game here in the 4th quarter. It is Dean Faithful.
Wet ball, wind in his face.
But short distance.
Yep.
It is put down by Julian. And it is up and it is through. So Edmonton gets 3 more. 2 touchdown lead approaching the midway point of the 4th quarter. Chris Jones knows all too well to take nothing for granted at this point, the way it's...
Because as we all know, we're increasingly talking more and more about weather and its devastating effects on so many communities around the world. Well, we've seen what's happened in Maui, and Jeff Reinbold lives in the Big Island, and on the Ticats bye week, he was driving back to the airport in Kona, and as he was driving, he saw the devastation in Maui. He was taking a long scenic route, and he said it reminded him of the images he used to see in high school when those teachers he had in history class would tell him about the devastation of World War II. And he's asking, and the Hawaiian word for prayer is pua. He's asking everyone, donate whatever you can. Check out the Red Cross, but send your prayers to Hawaii and the people of Maui. Guys?
Thank you, Matthew. For a drop by Anthony Johnson. Taylor Powell on 2nd down is taken down, sacked again. And this time it is Niles Morgan coming in, the middle linebacker. So a costly drop for the Ticats, putting the Elks that much closer as they're about to get the ball back. The punting unit is on for Hamilton.
Yeah, and his effort, and he's coming right here, right through the middle. Quarterback's going to kind of get washed into him as Ceresna's coming out. He feels that. The rest is history.
C.J. Sims on the punt return after that kick by Corey Vedvik, and Edmonton football. And
that was a quick 2-and-out, Rod.
It was, and aided once again by a drop ball. But you know that
tough night.
It has been a tough night.
Tough night for Johnson. 84.
No, go back to 4-5, baby.
Got to have those. Want to crawl back in this game.
You know, the Elks are in a situation now where this is as close as they've got this season, really, and that even includes last week with a 14-point lead, and now halfway through the 4th quarter. I mean, they should qualify that. They were close against Saskatchewan in week 1. They were close against the Riders again. I'm talking in terms of the lead that they have right now of 14 points. They haven't been in this situation.
I understand what you're saying, Rod. And this is what they're up against right now. It's,
you know, this doesn't even mention, I mean, obviously we don't talk about the home losing streak on a night that they're on the road, but there's one streak that they'd love to put to bed and worry about.
It up the board and get on with it.
Absolutely, and they can worry about winning at home on another day. But as Chris Jones had said, and we talked to him earlier this week, just get a win.
And it's one play at a time. We're not worried about being 0-9. We're worried about winning one game and staying in the moment and being incremental like that. Best way to go about it, handling it. business.
Their last victory came September 16th of last year. 13 straight losses. And yeah, the modern day one, the last time a team was in this situation in the CFL, the expansion Shreveport Pirates in 1994, as you saw in that graphic, of 14 straight. But this is a long, well-established franchise, and it's been really rough time what they've been going through.
Rough week. Victor duties. Tough one for Tom Richards to address the media. Thought he did a good job with that press conference. Tommy Richards' chair over there on the board. And yeah, it's just not typical Edmonton stuff that you deal with, but play the game long enough, you're going to go through stuff like that. Chris Jones can navigate through this. What he's asking of his team right now, Ron, is to play 4 quarters of football.
Right.
And they haven't done it this year. They played good quarters, good halves, but they haven't put 4 together, and they just got to lock it down here for another 8 minutes to stay focused.
And Vincent Forbes-Moblow dropping that one to make it a 2nd and 10 at the Edmonton 44. Under 6 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. A long night for everybody with a weather delay of over an hour and a half at halftime. Trey Ford. That's complete. That's Gino Lewis trying to cut around at the 50 and drive for a first down, but he'll still be about 4 yards shy as they have him wrapped up. So 3rd down coming up, and the Ticats will get the ball back with about 5.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's just his 2nd catch of the night. 3rd and 3, throws underneath. They had numbers to the left. Got a nice job of Trey Ford doing the little things, taking the clock all the way down to 1 second before the ball was snapped. Smart play. Good underneath throw, taking what the defense is giving you. Hamilton rallied. Kept Gino in check pretty much all night, except for that one drop ball early in the 1st quarter. Trey Ford hit him on the money on 3rd and 3.
Dean Faithful back to punt. The ever-dangerous Tyreek McAllister, the only returner back, standing at the Hamilton 10. This punt, as the breeze continues, and Edmonton against it. And McAllister's coming in, and all things considered, it got a nice bounce at the 20 and nowhere to go. So down around the 22. Good coverage on special teams there. It's Jake Taylor coming down to make sure that McAllister went no further. The Elks, who could blame them if they could start to hope a little bit more now? Hosea, all here on TSN. Can the Elks taste it? Stephen Dunbar, a couple of touchdowns. Still 4.5 minutes on the clock. A 14-point lead. Trying to hang on for that first victory. McAllister used as a receiver there and knocked out by Marcus Lewis. So a 2nd and short coming up, and time working against Taylor Powell and the Ticats now.
Yes, Rod, we will have the gypsy wagons packed and head to Ottawa.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, Montreal, Ottawa, you know that's going to be a hard-nosed football game.
Well, yeah, I mean, the way the Red Blacks were able to keep pace for a while with the Argos last week, the Alouettes coming off a big win over the Riders. So, but this one not over yet. But the Ticats have to find a way to rack up some points in a real hurry now. They're up against it. James Butler spins, picks up the first down. Clock ticking. Under 4 minutes now.
Yeah, you know, tough spot for Scott Milenovich. You got a young quarterback down there. Don't want to put him in harm's way and force the issue, but they seem to feel pretty good, but it's a lot of underneath stuff. Deepest thing he's thrown lately is out to White in the 3rd quarter, but yeah, I'm got to open it up a little bit here. 3:36 on the clock.
Powell took some deep shots last time. Now running around to his right, and he has to put that one into the turf. And got a 2nd down coming up here at the 37, 3:25 on the clock.
Heads up play. Yeah, Rod, you're right. They have tried to push the envelope a little bit here, get back in and get some chunk plays, but just hadn't been able to come up with them. They have to connect on one of them. Smart play there by a young quarterback, not trying to force it.
After 14
on a previous
straight
play, that was intentional grounding on Hamilton number 0. The ball will be placed on the 26-yard line, and it will be 2nd down.
Another 25 seconds out the clock. That would have been lost and down, too. Didn't make it across the line, I don't believe.
Frustrating season for Orlando Steinauer, too, and a difficult week coming out of the bye, having to fire his friend and longtime offensive coordinator, Tommy Condell. And he talked to us about just how sometimes bye weeks give everybody a bit of a break, but this one's been awful for him, and staring down another loss by the looks of things right now, unless there's a comeback. And there's a guy who picks up a sack and a big catch in the first half that helped set up a touchdown. A.C. Leonard, is the boos are coming down and the punting unit is coming on for Hamilton. 3 minutes to go, just under. The warning is given. Caught a pass, made a sack too. A.C. Leonard trying to help lead his team to win number 1 in 23. Talented Mr. Leonard. What he's done in his career, and those catches too with the BC Lions. It was back in 2015 before he went to the Riders, and Chris Jones, his coach then, made him a defensive player. C.J. Sims out across the 40, and well, at the very least, the Elks can taste this possibility of a victory now. Under 3 minutes to go, 24-10, hanging on to that lead.
Just trying to circle that graphic there, showcasing AC's last catch in 2015. It's incredible. And if Chris Edwards wasn't right on him, he gets his head of steam. I think he walks in the end zone on that play.
So up at the 41 now. Trey Ford and the Edmonton Elks trying to put this one away. On the ground, Kevin Brown breaks free, first down, and finally taken down up across midfield.
That'll help. That'll help. Not getting touched. 7 yards downfield. Tunday's just hanging on. Trying to get some help from Elliott and the rest of the posse. That's what the big boys love to do when you're 0-9.
Edmonton, Noam, number 69, was closing the line on this side. This will be a 5-yard penalty, and we're going to replay first down.
Wow.
Okay, scratch that. Gain by Kevin Brown. They go back the other way, 5 yards, and a 1st and 15 coming up.
First quarter, same field position, same scenario, 1st and 15. Trey Ford ran the ball twice, moved the sticks. Not a bad game plan. Darius Jackson not agreeing with it. Tommy Dennison behind Darius Jackson there.
Great moment for Trey Ford a year ago on Canada Day. Coming back in his home area. Went to school at Waterloo, grew up in Niagara Falls, and
there you go.
There we go again. Now the last one was negated, and this time Brown takes it a few yards even further across midfield. And yes, that time a first down for Edmonton.
Yeah, and he's just going to hunt it right back in here, and you're going to get leverage right here, and he's gone to he's out to the secondary. Washed it down. 1st and 15, no problem, Ron.
Gonna say gets 22 after the other one was negated by the penalty.
I was going to say before they got that penalty, no end. This is what the big boys like to do. Turn it out, seal the game.
2:13, handing off, keep it on the ground. Churn up some yardage, churn up some clock as well.
Whether that's A.J. Ouellette from the Toronto Argonauts or Brady Oliveira from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, or no matter who it is, that's what they like to do. The big boys like to eat, and the running backs like to turn it out, show their mettle.
Brown did certainly last week early on against Winnipeg. First play from scrimmage, took it 65 yards for a touchdown. I was mentioning Trey Ford though, Matty, and that moment, what it must have meant to him in his first ever CFL start over a year ago, back in July the 1st, 2022, as a rookie, to pick up the victory, you know, and And it feels different this time, he said, a little bit different, but still some nerves and still lots of family and friends wanting tickets to watch him. Don't know how many stuck around. I'm sure that contingent did.
I know he had 22 tickets out there. I bet you all 22 are still
I would
here.
certainly think so, because this, well, he already had his historic moment last year, not only as a Canadian, but a Canadian university player, a U-Sports player. But as he comes off at 1:41 in the clock, what has been just a terrible start to the season for the Edmonton Elks is close to seeing win number 1, and he has been a big part of this game tonight.
Some confusion here. Looks like they're going to go for it on 3rd and 1. Now they're going to punt the football. McAllister's going, yeah, I'll turn this game around. One play.
See how Jake Julian approaches this one, as he'll get it around midfield.
Take another 12 seconds off the clock here. Take it down to about 120.
The Elks trying to avoid the distinction of starting 0-10 for the first time since Hamilton 20 years ago. Takes a good roll for Edmonton ultimately, even though McAllister did pick it up and get a couple, but a flag is down right around where the ball was initially taken, or about the 12-yard line. So Julian will certainly take that.
Edmonton number 13, 15-yard penalty, first down.
1:12 on the clock. The no yards call against the Elks, but overall, and right really from the start, an offense that's been beleaguered. They changed their offensive coordinator a couple of weeks ago, and this offense has overall had a very good performance, especially in that first half.
Yeah, something about Trey Ford and Tim Hortons Field. He likes it here. You heard Mark Corte there, center for Edmonton, saying, yeah, you're 2-0 here. Yeah, it's good. That's one way to look at it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And for good measure, Coney Ely comes in to take Powell down.
Yeah, everybody gets some. Yeah, enjoy it.
Seven sacks now, Matty.
Gotta enjoy it. Yeah, they brought the heat on a young quarterback that's, I think, handled himself
Timeout, Hamilton.
extremely well, and Taylor Powell in most situations. But
well, we have seen Edmonton lose so many different ways. Shutout twice by BC. Close games against Saskatchewan 3 times in week 1. They had right down near the goal line for what would have been the go-ahead touchdown and couldn't punch it in. There was the close game in Saskatchewan several weeks later when they didn't get the ball out on the kickoff, and that led to the winning point for the Rough Riders. And then you had last week.
That one hurt.
That hurt a lot, and for them, and so did last week when they had a 22-point lead in the Bombers. And even with Zach Collaros out of the game, Drew Brown put on a show, and the Bombers came back, and you know, it's just been that kind of season for the Edmonton Elks.
I think the football gods emptied the bag of ways to lose, and there's nothing left. And Edmonton, to their credit, came out here, performed extremely well in the conditions, endured the weather delay just like Hamilton had to, and found a way to play pretty clean football for the most part. I don't remember too many turnovers that were forced by Edmonton due to trade. There's no interceptions.
And look at that.
Fumbles. Look at that.
You're not seeing a smile yet on Chris Jones' face, but you are seeing smiles around now that with 46 seconds left and a 14-point lead, that it is going to happen tonight here in Hamilton.
Rondo Steinhauer, as he told us this week, head coach for Hamilton, said, I know Edmonton's not coming here just to compete. We're coming here to win.
A rainy night, stormy night, with the game delayed at the half for over an hour and a half. And yes, we have Elks fans, a Trey Ford jersey, and hanging in on a night that's, well, bad weather, but good result for the visiting team now. Into the hands of Brown, as the Ticats are now faced with falling to 3-6 at their halfway point. Ottawa tied with them, well, although Hamilton's beat them twice, but a big game coming up a couple of nights actually against Montreal.
Yeah, 3-6, on a halfway point. Edmonton, they're looking at being 1-9 right now, and I'm a football team. You got 2-9 next week, 3-9. 9-9's not bad for the for the season.
If they can run the table,
right?
So
that's the way you got to look at it, one at a time.
Well,
run the table, be 9-9, and maybe be in the thick of things.
Niagara Falls Trey Ford is about to go 2-0 in Hamilton in his young CFL career.
That's incredible.
Takes a knee down. Hard to match how he would have felt a year ago in his first CFL start, but this must feel awfully good right now in his second start this season, taking over from Taylor Cornelius, who actually led a impressive drive of his own in this game for a touchdown.
There it is.
Well, we had to wait a little longer to see it, but we can finally say for the first time in 2023, the Edmonton Elks win. 24-10 is the final. Handshakes, Chris Jones, Orlando Steinauer, and a beleaguered team finally puts one in the win column. And Trey Ford, Kevin Brown, reason to celebrate, if only on one